So now we are officially recording.
Okay.
So right now, I am here with Annetta Lucero, and I am here to have a quick 1 minute conversation about her book. Tell us what it's about, Annetta.
Well, that's actually a interesting question because I don't know that it's about anything. This is a collection of my thoughts and stories and vignettes and things that have happened in my life and my philosophical way of approaching tragedy and triumph and everything in between. And I don't even recall writing this book. It kind of wrote itself. I just started collecting things that I was posting and saying and stories that I had written in my blog, and then I had a magical thing happen where a publisher just flat out landed in my lap. I didn't know how to get a publisher or how to do anything, and it just all came together. And he said, "Send me everything that you've ever written," and I sent him a half-done autobiography and just these musings and some other things, and he said, that's the ticket right there. These musings are something. And he helped me organize it and put it together, and I even enjoy reading it, even though I know all of the stories and I've read them over and over again as I've been writing them.
What would you hope people get out of this book? You know, when they pick it up, when they read it, what is the couple things they could?
I think that the thing that is most poignant about the book is that you realize that nobody's special and everybody's special. We can get on a kick of thinking like, people tell me all the time, oh, you're so special. Oh, you're my role model or whatever. But if you read the stories in the book and find where I'm coming from, I've had such a struggle my entire life trying to even believe that I was worthy of living. and you don't know what others are feeling at any time. And you may think that somebody has fame or celebrity or they've got it all together, and there is no getting it all together. You're not alone. If you think that you're not making it, or you have to make it to find something better in life, there is no making it. There's only making it, and there is no making it. It's a constant contrast. It's a constant tug of war. And I think in this book you see that I find that. I find that there is no one side or other. I find that there's only ever something in the middle, and the thing that you find in the middle is yourself, which there is no self.
Wow, that was
That
intense.
makes sense. But the stories are funny and heartbreaking and wonderful, and they're just whatever I think this little costume me is or isn't.
Cool. Well, at this point, you can go on Amazon and literally just type in the Tao of Winning. And just as a side benefit, you could also use Amazon Smile and support your favorite charity. I would say the International Jugglers Association or Fund the Flow Arts. But yeah, you can go buy this on Amazon. We're going to transition from this point to a conversation that you would have to be one of my Patreon subscribers. Give me $1, basically, a month. And you can watch it.
And I'm going to go buy the book.
Yes.
Since I don't have one yet.
Yeah. Okay, so let's start it up. Just kind of chill back. I have some questions for you that I've kind of been writing down here. So
Cool.
the first thing, I was just like, what would you want people, you already are sort of a living legend. Maybe you know this already, but you have revolutionized your own field. You probably revolutionized other fields that don't even know about, including being a mother and being a baton twirler and an artist and costumes, I'm assuming. And so, what would you want people to when you pass, or when your time to stop spinning or twirling is over? What would you want people to remember about you?
I don't think it's important to remember anything about me. I hope that the me that is left an imprint in specific areas has been helpful and positive, and whether or not I remember it is completely insignificant to me.
Wow. Do you get validation from being this legend these days? Does it make you feel?
I used to. It used to be my entire identity, and what was so funny, when it was necessary for it to be my identity, I felt like I was never receiving my due share. You know, and I feel like a lot of artists have this specific quality to us, that we feel like the underdog. I can only speak for myself, so let me change this to me. I felt like the underdog. I felt like no matter what I was inventing or creating, I wasn't getting enough credit for it. You know, there was a lot of credit issues that I lived my life being disappointed by. I had a lot of hardship just in life, and although I always had within me this this knowing that I was only competing against myself, I had a lot of good and sustainable qualities within my own personality, but they were covered by trauma and covered by the way that I reacted because of that trauma, and covered by blame, and my mom did this to me, and the the judges didn't see that and scored me too low. Like, I could win the world championships with nearly straight 10s and a couple 9.9s. And I was absolutely devastated and furious that those judges gave me the 9.9. Like, I was looking at the wrong side of things for my own well-being and my own peace.
Was there a time when that shifted? When do you think that, like, self-validating, feeling underappreciated artist side of you shifted to, I don't know what the word would be, the present day, to modern Annetta?
When I realized that my son was going to die long before me. And then everything kind of came into perspective. And the trivial things in life really revealed themselves to me as trivial. And I didn't know there was anything wrong with my son until he was around 2 years old. And when we got the diagnosis, I'm not one to believe in diagnoses, because I myself have been diagnosed terminally ill since birth and was never supposed to live past 16. So all of those things were, when I first heard about my son, I was like, oh, he's just like me. It's going to be fine. And as time went on and I realized, well, it is going to be fine, but fine doesn't necessarily mean what I had made it to mean in my own head. Fine to me always meant that you beat it, you fight against it, you push against it, you win over it. And in this case, all of those ideas in my life and in my world and in the way that I had built the foundation of who I thought I was had to really be examined, because nothing was going to save. My son didn't need saving, but nothing was going to change the circumstance that he was severely terminally ill and he was going to die. And that was such a gift. It was a gift for me, and it was a gift for him, and it was a gift to the world, because I came out a much higher evolved version of myself, and it was a long process, and the process wasn't finished. After my son's death at 16, I was, still pushing, still fighting, and then I was hit by that car and completely debilitated and crushed from my shoulders to my pelvis, and suddenly my entire work was done. My life's work was seemingly done, and I looked at that. It's so trivial.
Yeah, I always remember the time at Zan's wedding. Oh, just for insight's sake, you had just been in the accident and you came to the wedding with Noah, and I guess it's on video. I don't know if someone's been seeing it, but you did the one arm contact staff thing. I always remember that, and it's just like a funny moment of seeing. I don't really know you super well, but I've seen you at Fire Drums, and I've known you adjunctly because of that situation. But yeah, that's amazing. All right, I got some other stuff for you. Let's see.
Yeah.
So this is kind of a good question. What is the most rewarding, Baton moment of your entire life, or one of the most? What is there, something I don't know, winning something particular, or?
Yeah. I'll tell you the immediate one that stayed with me for a long time, and then I'll tell you the current one. Of course, the very first thing that always comes to my mind when people ask that are 1983 World Championships. I was the youngest senior woman to ever be placed in that category, the senior woman category. My birthday just comes at a really crummy time for baton twirling, so I was always pushed up into an older division while I was still younger than everyone else. And winning that first world championships, I had worked and sacrificed my entire childhood, and really that was the moment for me. And I can still feel like the relief, and that is what is so odd about what I know now. That moment for me was the most poignant moment in my life up to that time. It's what I thought everything was going to be about. That was going to change everything. And it was the most amazing thing when the medal went around my neck and the flag started to raise. And by the time the national anthem was over, I had already lost interest and wondered what I was going to do next. And the next morning when I woke up and I saw that gold medal on the side table beside me, and I realized I'm exactly the same. I'm not a superstar. I'm not, it's said that I'm a world champion, but I felt exactly the same inside. I was still a loser in my own self. So that most poignant moment was, for so many reasons, poignant. First, because it was the most elation I had ever felt, and the most success, and it was so brief. And I had to win it again, and I had to win it again, and I had to win it again, and it never felt as good. And it didn't mean anything.
Wow. Where was this? Where did this happen? What was
this was in Milan, Italy. In the early 80s, and
okay.
It was supposedly the best twirling moment, in my life, and it was significant in the baton twirling world because I was the first female to receive all those 10s, and I was doing tricks that, were way ahead of my time, and all kinds of interesting things happened with that. But this legendary status that has somehow been carved by my journey, it's just wrought with human experience.
Yeah.
None of it's magical. It's all just heavy living and having moments of glory, and then realizing that those are so fleeting. And that really peace is the ultimate wonderful thing.
So what was the next moment? What was the new moment? You said this was your first moment that you would say. What was the current day high baton?
My current best moment in baton twirling is waking up and not having the need or desire to practice.
Awesome. Wow. Why is that? I got to hear more about this because this is good.
Because I don't have anything to prove. I don't have to stay better than everybody else. It's unimportant. It's become unimportant. And it's funny that a 50-year-old woman would, get to this far in life, and that I still was practicing and like filming stuff and showing people. And part of that was to help teach the sport and to pass on the joy and passion of movement and all of that. But a lot of it was also just showing off that I could still do that roll series better than anyone else. And that's gone.
And it seems interesting because if that's happened in the past couple years or whatever, I've noticed that, you got this book. I don't really have a reason to buy your shoes, but it seems like some of these other elements of your life, now that you've taken less energy to dedicate to the sport itself to improve your own personal skills, you've been able to open up into a lot of other potentially business worlds in Baton. Is that true, or is that?
Yeah, and I don't know anything about business at all, but these opportunities are just with ease and grace landing literally in my way, so that I'm tripping over them and going, oh, there's that. I'll go ahead and jump off that cliff. I'll try that. I'll learn about it as I go. Maybe somebody will come into my life to help teach me about that or do it for me.
Yeah, I'm surprised you're not a motivational speaker over here. I mean, maybe that's I don't know. It sounds to me, even looking at this book, there's a funny thing you said that Kevin Axtell, his mentor, Tolly Burkan, I don't know if you know this guy, but his thing is let it be easy is sort of his motto, where
Yeah,
those things are right in front of you and you just sort of have to like not decide whether or not you're going to do it until you're standing right in front of it. Don't worry
yeah,
about it until you're right in front of it. And it seems like from what I've read of the book, I've only read just a little bit because I got it yesterday, but is
yeah.
that it seems like that's kind of a lot of that is just to kind of, I mean, you can make it one way, but that's not necessarily helping or hurting, but it's sort of
Right.
getting you forward. So that's really cool.
Yeah, I guess my motto has been in in the last 10 years or so, ease and grace. Just allow me to find ease and grace and to be able to be ease and grace. And I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know it's going to happen.
Hmm.
And what it is doesn't matter.
Wow. Okay, I got to ask this next question because if I don't, someone's going to be mad at me. So, there's this art contact staff that existed post baton twirling, fecha, everything else, probably within the past 10 years or so, is sort of taking this rise in the flow community. Like, what are your thoughts? I mean, because the tricks are the same, their names similar, their name different. I mean, what are your thoughts on the flow community versus the baton community? You got to ask the question, right? So,
Yeah, that's a really interesting question to ask me in particular because I've actually have moments of struggling with it, and it's always pretty obvious when I do because I'll say something that's pretty close to snidey on the staff, the contact staff page, and then I'll have to start explaining myself, and I'm really explaining myself to myself. And the benefit is that everybody gets to see this unfold because I'm very raw and I don't fake shit. I'm for real. What you see is what you get. And if I'm having a moment where I'm a little bit irritated because I see once again some trick that staffers just posted and said, I just made this up, and has anyone ever seen this before? And then that little brat inside of me that trained as a kid and learned that trick when I was 5 years old and saw every single 250 of my friends also do it when they were 5 years old. And, that'll trigger like a little something in me, and I'll just say like, yes, according to baton twirling, this trick has been around since 1973 and da-da-da. But then I look and I see that. I see like, why did that trigger that in me? How rude of me. What a jerk. And I'll go back and I'll really look at the staff community from like these new eyes that I have. And I have so much appreciation because you guys didn't have trainers and hundreds of years of, I don't know, inheritance of this sport. You simply picked up a stick and started figuring out what to do. And that's amazing to me. The things, particularly at your level that you are doing, and the fact that you figured out how to do that is phenomenal. I had to have people teach me how to do that. And I practiced, 9 to 12 hours a day with trainers standing there the entire time. And that there are folks out there that can just figure it out is amazing. That's a different kind of brain than I have. I can't do it that way.
Where did the ideas for a lot of the contact motions, i.e. like Monster Rolls, Fujimi, any of that kind of stuff, where did that come from? Or the Lucero? Or where is the inspiration for this coming from? Even when you were younger, like, is it coming from... Yeah, I always wondered that, because it's like, did you just make all that? You hear like somebody's the first person to do something. Obviously, that person is standing on something, but I'm always curious what that was for you when you were younger.
For me, baton twirling has literally been in my family for about 100 years.
Oh.
So I'm coming from an inheritance of twirling. From my grandmother, my mom, my 4 aunts, everybody, every female in my family twirled. So it's hard for me to say like where it came from because I did not want to be a baton twirler. I didn't like baton twirling. I didn't want to practice. I cried for the first 11 years of my life and was forced to do it. And rolls for me, I was always drawn to doing rolls. I like the feeling of it up there rolling around. I like how tight I could get it. I had a knack for it, and I couldn't bust my face open doing rolls. And so that was a big, every twirler has a bad left knee from so many spins. every twirler's busted their nose, broken their teeth out, had goose eggs all over their head. Their whole life, it's just something that goes with it. You're going to get smashed with that baton, but with rolls, you don't get smashed. Since I had so many hours that I was required to train a day, the more that I could train on rolls, the more opportunity I had to not get hurt.
And did you get the creation, like, did they just come up randomly, or were you watching stuff?
No, I was built and trained to be a machine. I learned everything. There was no artistic quality showing in me until my early teens. And then it all was like a big rush of and then I became the Annetta Lucero that people know. My foundation was nothing but technique and nothing but machinery. And then when that came over me, then yes, it was like, oh, what can I create that's different? I want to be me. I want to be me. I don't want to be that. I don't want to do that role. I want to do something more than that. And it wasn't as a competitive thing. It was competing with myself. What can I create? What can I become? How can I make that different? How can I get people to clap for me more?
That's cool. All right, so our final question. I won't take too much of your time. I really appreciate you talking to me and taking time to do this.
I appreciate you talking to me. I love your videos. I'm always impressed with everything you put up. I really can't believe what you guys have done. It's stunning to me. I have a great respect. I wish you would all, not you in particularly, so I wish overall that contact staff community could knock off the ugly hippie dance thing.
Tell me more. Open that up.
All right. The footwork, the footwork and the whole, like, this thing, unattractive, people, unattractive. Go take some ballet. Get some foundation of true and practiced movement. Practiced movement can still be free-flowing and artful. It's even more beautiful to watch because there is a structure behind it that gives a quality of a look. So this whole, you know the thing I'm talking about, right?
Yep.
If you think of contact staffers and the hunchy thing and the dancing around with the feet, but there's no training behind it. If you're going to spend so much time training to do these amazing things with the stick, equally train your body and your stick will go in the right place so much easier. It's really hard to get a good pattern with those hideous feet and the hunchy hunch.
Yeah, I could say that I learned that when I first started getting Fujimis, because I like, you can't do it unless you do it the way that you're told, because I tried so long, and then Michelle from Vancouver, she just laced me up, and she was just really, like, very straightforward about it. Like, you're not going to do this if you stand like that. It's impossible. So and I really, and you gave me the vertical thing, which helped me. So I get there's like a tradition of technique that comes along with the body training. And I noticed that.
If contact staffers could develop some form of technique within their body, they would rise so quickly. And oftentimes when I'm talking to staffers, they're not quite understanding that. They think in some way that's going to inhibit their flow. What they don't realize is it's going to enhance their flow because you won't be tripping over your own feet anymore, and it looks better to the eye of the viewer.
Okay, wow, that was great. All right, so my last thing here, I guess, which is, do you have any? I guess I'll ask you. This is it. Do you like fire spinning? What's your vibe on that? I just figured I would ask you.
I don't really like it.
You don't like it? Okay. Because I watched your DVD, and it seemed like there was a point in time that you were, like, all about this fire game, So I was...
Well, I was. You know why? Because I just love Noah. If he was going to do all that fire, damn it, I'll do the fire too. And also, it was a great paycheck. I was in high-level special events, high-level circus, where it wasn't just the burn session or whatever, but I was getting a significant paycheck to do that fire, and I was automatically so good at it. There was no...
Right.
Once I learned the safety elements, which were the most important part of fire training, I was already good to go. I didn't need one single practice session. Noah put the staff in my hand, I was already basically the best in the world. So it was like, oh, okay. I wasn't afraid of the fire, so there was no problem. But do I like it? No, I don't like the smell of it. I don't like the look of all of the gypsy
costuming.
Yeah, I don't like that particular flair. Is not my deal. And I never costumed as that. I costumed in a very like elite cirque level kind of deal. So, but I sure love the community and I love the people, and I think the fire staff community. When I went to Fire Drums,
so good.
I had so many amazing conversations with super high quality human beings. I think I met more people that could instantly teach me something about life that I hadn't thought about in the past, and it opened me up and it brought me out of a more conservative, cut-off way of thinking, even though I thought I was very open. Yeah, just Fire Drums was a significant event for me, and I'm really glad I went. I hate camping, and I'm not that into fire.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to hear. Just to hear the truth about it. So yeah, I guess again, this is going to be kind of a private interview, just to kind of let you know before we sign off here, because I've only done 2. I actually interviewed Nick Woosley, if you know that guy.
Yeah, I know that name.
I interviewed him last week. It was pretty amazing, and you're my second, so I'm honored.
Thank you so much for thinking of me. I'm honored, and I love the staff community. Even when I get bratty, bear with me.
Yeah, I actually think there's a lot of people, just not me. I'm actually like this weird, like I try to be nice in general, even though I kind of have like anyways. But I mean, I think a lot of people enjoy the snark coming out of Annetta, because it's sort of like God landing on the contact staff community to say something. So
yeah.
But all right, well, thank you, Annetta, for your time. Here's this little book. Please check out her book on Amazon. And
thank you. It's a great book. I hope everybody can learn how human we all are.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
And that it's going to be okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's cool. This is like better than getting the book signed. Like you're like right here. And I'm like, look. Like, bye, Annetta. Thank you so much. Take care.
You. Aloha.
Bye. How do I do this? I'm gonna click this thing here. I'll see you later, Annetta. I'm hanging up.